Is the housing market crashing in Pennsylvania? Not quite. I'll explain why in this video. We'll go over what the housing market was like in Pennsylvania over the last year, what is currently happening in our market, and at the end, I'll go over what I think will happen in the future housing market in Pennsylvania. Hey there, I'm Corey Benhart, and I'm a realtor here in Pennsylvania, and I service all of Pennsylvania, but more specifically, the Philadelphia metro area. If you're thinking about making the move to Pennsylvania, I would love to help you find your perfect Pennsylvania home. I have helped tons of people move to the great state of Pennsylvania. All of my contact information is below. I would love to hear from you. Starting out with what was the housing market like in 2020 and 2021? Well, just like everywhere else, it was complete madness for both buyers and sellers. A balanced market is when there is 6 months of inventory on the market, which means if there was not a single home listed on the market, it would take 6 months for everything on the market to sell. Taking that into account, the last year or two, we have had anywhere from a half of a month to a month and a half of inventory. Homeowners that were selling could just about guarantee that they would receive multiple offers and receive a price well above the asking price. Properties were selling no matter what the asking price was, no matter the condition or the location, which was great for sellers, but not so great when they needed to buy a home after they sold. But although buyers were probably approved for a mortgage with a record low interest rate, that truthfully didn't really mean much because buyers had to jump through so many different hoops. They needed to offer $50,000 or sometimes $100,000 over the asking price just in order to get their offer accepted. Most likely, buyers were losing out on tons of different homes for one of two reasons. Either there was just a better offer that was accepted, or the homes were selling so quickly that the buyers just didn't even have a chance to go and see the house before it was under contract. I assisted tons of clients through that market madness, both on the buy side and on the sell side, and it was truly an insane experience for everyone involved. The market was so nuts that I saw some pretty interesting things that buyers were doing to stand out from all of the other offers. I saw vacations being offered to sellers, boat rentals, sports tickets, and even offering their firstborn child. Obviously, that last one wasn't true, but you get the point. Buyers were doing anything that they could to get their offer accepted, and that lasted up until about August of 2022 when things started to slow down a bit because the federal government raised the interest rates, which impacted the buying power. Because if somebody was approved for a mortgage at 3.5% and then the interest rate jumped up to 5%, their maximum purchase price would decline, and it could impact the type of home that they were looking to buy, the area that they're looking in, and the overall condition of the home. Now, what is going on in our current market as of late November 2022? Things have definitely changed because the entire state as a whole is only at half of what a balanced market would be, with only 3.07 months of inventory in Pennsylvania as a whole. But more specifically, the entire Philadelphia metro area has only 1.65 months of overall inventory, which means that if there is not a single home that comes on the market, all of the homes will sell in about a month and a half. Now, for sellers, that is a great thing because that shows that there's still a good amount of demand and there's still plenty of opportunity to sell at a great price without having too many other homes for buyers to choose from. On the other hand, for buyers, things have definitely gotten much better. Depending on the specific location, the condition, and the price, buyers in some cases can now negotiate things such as inspections, seller credits for their closing costs, and even in some cases, they can get these sellers to buy down their interest rate so they can purchase the home at a lower interest rate than what the market interest rate is reflecting. So is the market going to crash? In my personal and professional opinion, from everything that I'm seeing in the market, talking to buyers and sellers each and every single day, and all of the market research and the professionals that I've heard, the answer is no. Most likely it will not crash. Because although you probably hear housing market crash in the news all the time, well, that's what the news is in the business of doing. No one clicks on an article or reads a newspaper with a headline that says, well, the market's probably going to be fine. It's just not realistic. Also, the issue with the news is that what they're reporting isn't the specific real estate market that we're in. reporting. They're reporting on the national real estate market, which is pretty much impossible to report on because each state, town, city, and even all the way down to each zip code is such its own individual market because real estate is so hyper local that it really depends on each and every single area to reflect if something is crashing or not. Now, don't get me wrong, there probably are a couple of markets that will crash or get pretty close to it, but those are the markets that are so incredibly overinflated and overpriced, it really is impossible for them not to crash, such as places like Idaho and Texas. But the good news about here is our specific market here in Pennsylvania, and more specifically the Philadelphia metro area, is known as a very stable market. There's never really any sudden huge increases or decreases in population. Our economy is very stable because even through past recessions, we just kept on trucking along. This is a very desirable area because instead of huge ups and downs like other markets, we grow at a pretty steady increasing rate as time goes on, no matter what the economic forecasts are throughout the country and the state. Things have certainly slowed down in the market, but instead of homes getting, let's say, 20 offers, we're seeing about 1 to 3 offers on a home that is priced right in a great location and is priced according to the condition of the home. Borrowing money in the form of a mortgage isn't dirt cheap anymore. It's back to a balanced and at a normal historical rate, so buyers are being more picky on the homes that they offer on, which is a great thing. That is exactly how real estate is supposed to be. We're finally getting back to a balanced market where not one party has all of the upper hand like sellers had all of the power the past couple of years. A lot of my clients are actually telling me that they're somewhat happy that the interest rates have gone up because now the market has cooled down a bit, that they can actually afford to buy a home without getting outbid over and over and over again. So is it going to crash? Probably not. Is it a good time to buy or sell? That's personally a question only you can answer because everyone's situation is different. If you need to buy or sell and you can afford to do so, there's absolutely no reason to wait. If you're waiting for rates to go back down to 2 to 3%, you might be waiting for, well, the rest of your life. I don't foresee rates getting that low anytime soon. That was kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity. And even if rates do decrease, guess what? Everybody that is waiting for the rates to decrease will then jump into the market. And that means that you're going to have to overbid and do all tons of crazy stuff just to get your offer accepted again. So although interest rates are a bit higher, you have a lot more negotiating power now as if rates were to drop again and then everything is right back to how we were before. The other thing that I'm seeing in the market right now is some homes are sitting a lot longer than you would expect. Typically, the homes that are sitting on the market longer are either incredibly overpriced, not in the best location, or they need significant work, or a mix of all three. But right now, I'm seeing a lot of beautiful homes sitting on the market for kind of a long time, and that's only because the sellers are pricing their homes at what they would have gotten if they listed 6 to 12 months ago. Unfortunately, we are not in that same market anymore, and sellers most likely need to learn that they probably cannot list their house at the same price that what their neighbor got, 6 or 18 months ago. Maybe they heard that their neighbor had 50 showings, 15 offers, and sold for $50,000 over the asking price. And that's definitely not the case now. So sellers, number one advice that I would give you is to price it accordingly to the condition, what the market is reflecting in your specific area, and make sure to hire a real estate agent that has a proven track record in pricing homes accordingly and not just throwing whatever price out there. Because as I said, we are not in the same market as we were 6 or 12 months ago. Okay, so what now? If you want to sell a home, you are definitely not too late. There is still tons of opportunity to get a great price and maybe even a multiple offer situation. And now if you're moving to Pennsylvania and want to buy a home, now is arguably the best time to buy compared to the last 2 to 3 years. So what does all of this mean for the future of the Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia metro area real estate market? Well, it's probably going to be a lot different from 2020, 2021, and 2022, but not necessarily in a bad way. There will not be as many total sales as there were the past couple of years, but there'll still be plenty of sales happening, both plenty of buyers and sellers transacting in the market. And now for interest rates, I think we'll hover around 5 to 6.5%, but ultimately that's up to the federal government. So truly, who knows what their plan is. So if you're looking to buy, now definitely might be the best time because we don't don't know if rates will continue to increase or if we're kind of at a standstill on interest rates. And now if you're looking to move to Pennsylvania, I would love to help you find your perfect Pennsylvania home. I specialize in helping people move to this great state. All of my contact information is below. I would love to hear from you. But until then, I will see you on this next video.